Alright guys, we did it. The Falcon Ute is sold. Got 1.8 grand for it. Bought it for $370. I bogged the ding in it, spray painted it and sanded it, put the battery terminal on, transferred the rego. That's about it. Cleaned it out and stuff. Whatever I did in the video that is about the Falcon, that's what I did. I sold it, didn't have a door card on it, no door trim, nothing. There was 6 days rego till it expires. So there's that. So it's gone. So now we can work on the Fairmont. Alright, so we're here working on the AU Falcons. We're trying to change the steering rack in the Fairmont. We'll take one out of the Ute, putting that one in the Fairmont. So we started on the Ute. Had dramas all morning, and yeah, we couldn't get the MG out of the way, but it's out of the way now.
So we've popped off the wheel, tyre rods just with the rattle gun, real easy. So you got 18mm, it was on the tyre rod anyway, and for the steering rack. So the lines you can get from the bottom real easy, the power steering lines. There's 17mm and a 19mm, that's what I used anyway. And you got the little electronic clip, you just kind of pop out the metal circlip and pop it out. Got the fluid draining. Now we're just cracking these. They're meant to be done up at 80 Newton meters. The driver's side wasn't, like I got it undone with a 19mm, the wrong size, and it worked. And you know, I'm struggling with the right size on this one. Like, gotta probably put my back into it more, put my feet into it, more like it. Alright, so everything is disconnected. I'm just having dramas trying to get the column off the fucking rack. I can't do it, like it's unbolted. It gets just almost off, but I can't get it off. I think maybe I have to turn the steering to a certain angle. I don't know. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look it up on Google how to get the column off. See if I'm missing something. I can't really find anywhere the column like slides into itself, like collapses. Like there is a bit there, but it's not screwed in. Yeah, gotta work it out. So I loosened this up here, but it didn't slide, so I'm going to try to spray WD-40 on it and loosen it again and slide it to get the movement. So the sway bars had to come off so that steering rack can slide back. Then to top it off, those lines have had to come undone so it's got clearance on the bottom of the motor. And then now to top it off, the fucking exhaust heat shield is hitting on the rack right there. So I'm gonna smash it with a hammer because it's giving me the shits. So I've had to fucking drop the exhaust. Oh, so annoying. Steering rack is pretty much free to be pulled out. Yeah, I'm gonna put the phone down to do this because I'm gonna cause more dramas than good. Alright, so the steering rack is out of the AU Falcon, the red Ute. The biggest like issues I would say like with it all was collapsing the steering column, mainly because the first place I looked was the right place and I undid the bolt. I think I actually may have taken it out, or yeah, I took the bolt out completely from the like clamp, which you didn't even need to do the first time, and then I was trying to move it and it wouldn't do like nothing. So you know, that's when I looked it up on Google because I was like, I'm kind of stuck.
and I was doing the right thing the whole time, but my one was all dirty, and the guy on YouTube's I noticed was like, because I looked up some other dude doing it, and he had like, it was all clean and that, so that's why, you got to take into account sometimes you're doing the right thing, and you think you're doing it wrong, but you're doing it right, and all it is just like corrosion or dirt and grime. And if you just spray WD-40, even if you're trying to undo bolts and they're really hard, and it's like feels like they're cross-threaded, but they're not, and it's just rust and that, like, just spray some WD on it, because I wasted like half an hour chasing my tail, and I was there at the start doing the right thing. I had to look it up on the internet to tell me I was doing the right thing. All I had to do was spray WD-40. So that was, yeah, probably the main thing. And then probably the exhaust. So I watched the guy that I watched, he took off the brake calipers to take off the tie rods out of the knuckle. I don't know why he did it, like, but maybe it's a difference in the models, because he didn't have to take off the exhaust. So I don't know, maybe we'll see with the fan one. So yeah, the main thing to worry about doing the steering rack on your AU is doing, like, if the exhaust is gonna, if it's the steering rack's gonna clear the exhaust, and making sure you can collapse your column. The rest is pretty straightforward. It's all right there in front of you. You just unbolt it all. Hey, it's the next day. We have both steering racks out. Same process. Exhaust had to come off. You have to disconnect the lines on the rack itself that like feed itself, so they can clear the gearbox slash motor. I think it's the back of the motor. Anyway, so that's done. Yeah, the whole thing's the same, just way quicker. So the electronic clip, I worked out if you get from the top of the engine bay for big long flathead, you can just stick it in and it just comes off in 1 second. I spent like a couple minutes on it the other day. And yeah, if you take the sway bar off before you try and unbolt the steering rack, you can use a rattle gun on pretty much everything. So pretty quick, can't complain. I think we finished this one probably about an hour we've got it out in. That's including jacking up the car, which took 25 minutes, 30 minutes because of where it was on the road and having to use a bottle jack and all this shit. But yeah, so both the racks are out. Now we put the good one in. I've cleaned up the good one, so we put it in. The good one's actually leaking, but just not so bad, so that's alright. So the new rack is in, went in fairly easy. I've got to change the O-rings for the lines. Got a new box of O-rings right there. I've just bolted up the steering column, dumped the 2 bolts with the electric ratchet, very quick, matter of 20 seconds. Yeah, just got to tighten up some bolts and put the tie rods in now. I've already got one in, so it's just on 1 tie rod left and some bolts. Exhaust is up, everything. Before I use the rattle gun on stuff, I like to put some lubricant. Just makes everything a lot nicer. Alright, so I got the little pick tool. You probably want one of these to change your O-rings. Real easy to just pick them off. Alright, so we're almost done. Just the one thing I'm gonna do, doing something by the books here. So we're gonna do the torque on the steering rack, the studs that hold the rack to the cross member. Once we torqued at 80 Newton meters, so we're just gonna do that with the socket. So it's trying to do degrees right now. That's why it's taking so long to load. Alright, so I've set it to 80 Newton meters. I just put the breaker bar on. Now it's a torque wrench, and I put the socket on the other side. We've done the Fairmont. It's finished. Well, not fully done, but it's drivable. So I kind of stuffed myself up trying to show off the Fairmont, trying to take it for a couple test drives, you know. And the power steering pump is now like cactus. Like the rack was leaking, and the guy actually, like, the old owner changed the power steering pump, and then he's like, oh, it's the rack that's broken. But in doing that, like, if you just put a brand new power steering pump on and the rack's leaking and gonna drain the pump dry, well, then the pump runs dry, and that's how the pumps normally tend to break, when they run dry. So we need to change the power steering pump as well now. And all I know is the guy bought one brand new. It's a brand new one that's now, it's only a few months old, it's broken, needs replaced now, and he spent $250 on it. So I'm really hoping, like, I don't want to spend $250 on the Fairmont. So what I'm thinking is, but I don't really want to change a power steering pump with an old second-hand one that might, you know, just break or start leaking. They tend to leak. So I'm thinking the Red Ute did make occasional power steering sounds. So I might just throw on that reservoir, like the power steering pump and reservoir from the Red Ute onto the white Fairmont. And then, because if I'm putting a brand new steering rack on the Red Ute, I can put a brand new power steering pump on it as well. So it's got a brand new steering system. So in the future, when I do try and like sell the Ute, and because I have to get a blue slip, so when I go get the Ute blue slip, it's going to have brand new power steering system. Like everything pretty much there is going to be new. And I'm really wanting to FG barrow swap the AU Falcon Ute, the red one. That'd be really cool to do the blue slip at the same time with the engine numbers. See how easy it is to do, how much time we got. But that pretty much wraps it up for today. The Fairmont's now working, so we're going to try and sell it. But I'm going to try and fix the rust in the boot, and probably we'll try to do some, maybe not skids, but like some sort of, I'm not really into burnouts. Like, they don't really do anything for me unless you're wearing like a fucking big V8 like monster, but no one has any of that. So yeah, we'll just probably go into the bush, send it around some dirt corners, maybe in the wet if it rains. Alright, so we'll do some sad guy skids in the gravel. Anti-global warming, smoke's a waste. Alright, so it doubles. Both the wheels spin at the same time, that's cool. So we kind of got this corner sideways. It's what the intro for the Fairmont is, with the Miles's Fairmont, or whatever it is, Fairmont. So yeah, I sent the AU around this corner just then. Didn't get it filmed because I'm trying to drive. But yeah, like this car does doubles in the dirt, which is cool.